Knights of the Toxic God is one of the more interesting origins to join the Stellaris lineup in a while. It's very story-driven, with the main narrative lasting between 100 and 150 years, depending on how you play your cards. First of all, you start off with 3 less pops than usual within your empire. However, in return, you'll get a free unique habitat within your home system. This habitat has a unique building called the Order's Keep, which is manned by knights, squire, and of course, a Lord Commander. The main draw here is that the knight's job will increase in number with each 10 pops on the habitat. These pops are also connected to a special policy, which can improve survey speed, anomaly discovery, combat damage, or diplomatic power. Now, the keep itself significantly increases the amount of migration to the station as well, so whenever a pop opens up, that's in terms of a job, it will be backfilled pretty quickly from your population in your empire. In addition, the habitation district is replaced with a special order domain area, which generates 3 of these squire jobs as well as a variety of bonuses to the fortress station designation. Then there is a special situation which has 8 different stages and takes 150 years to finish. In order to upkeep this, you can have the choice of not doing any upkeep whatsoever, but the knights will be unhappy, or a cost of -10 alloys from jobs across your empire plus a 20% modifier to monthly energy, as well as one that spends even more resources but can boost your quest speed up quite significantly. So spending more resources on your quest can have some problems, to say the least. You probably shouldn't go ahead and max out things right away. Your homeworld has other problems. There are 5 unremovable features that will significantly reduce your ability to expand your district infrastructure, which means you'll need to colonize as fast as possible. The lower population count can be problematic, as you'll want to use your initial population to leverage your economy as well as have a strong start, and it's probably a good idea to offset this with rapid breeders as your species trait, whilst also taking unruly, because nobody really cares about unruly. In addition to that, this gives you 2 additional trait points to play around with, and in this particular case, I've taken the intelligent trait for better research, but of course, depending on your situation, you may pick something else. So, with all of these things in mind, why would you take this origin when it starts you off on such a back foot? Well, the rewards that you can get from the quest will significantly increase your abilities over the course of 100 to 150 years, to the point where you can become a research or unity powerhouse. Plus, the possible end reward can compound all of this and make Knights of the Toxic God one of the more powerful origins in the game. It is a slow burner, and you will struggle a little bit throughout, but with the right decisions as well as moves, you will get there. As the game progresses, you'll have knights who will come back from quests and that will generate rewards in terms of main quest progress. This is directly tied to the type of policy that you've set up. So knights who go on quests can go and come back with resources, but also the diplomatic path can give you additional bonuses. The middle one will just give you a lot of additional fleet power as well as firepower, which is useful, but it will not advance the quest itself. Now, throughout the quest, you will be presented with choices, and these choices can improve the abilities of your knights, for instance, increasing their science or unity output. The squires can give you higher bonuses to the knights and commander, because yes, the more squires you have, the higher the bonuses on your knights and commander. Or, if you so choose, give those previously mentioned planetary blockers on your homeworld a series of very interesting bonuses. However, personally, I would not go for these because the unity and research bonuses that you can get on your knights are far more interesting, and that has more to do with the reward at the end of the quest. Now, it's time we talk about the Toxic God itself. If you don't want to be spoiled about this part of the origin as well as its outcome, you can go here in the video to not be spoiled about this. So the creature we've been hunting all this time, the Toxic God, is in fact a biological colossus, and it's not something that we should underestimate. It has a lot of firepower, 200,000 hull points, 200,000 shields, no armor whatsoever, so it's a good idea to take weapons with you that punch through shields completely, but its arsenal is quite varies as well. It has quite a lot of attack swarms, so bring those flak cannons with you, as well as special venom beams that penetrate shields and armor by 100%. So having a lot of hull points on your ship is, of course, a must. Don't attack this thing with missiles. It has quite a lot of point defense, and it's energy based as well, so you need to make sure you watch out for that. The real thing here that is interesting, however, is the Toxifier, the planet killer component that will turn worlds into toxic worlds. Yes, you can turn worlds into toxic worlds by capturing this creature. Now, after a long fight with the toxic god, you'll have the opportunity to either take it for yourself and use its powers, and at 150 or 100 years in, that is extremely strong for you to have. And of course, you can use the Colossus aspects to turn worlds into toxic worlds, as in the enemies, or you can opt to go for its relic. Yes, a relic is possible with this particular event. A very special relic indeed, with some very interesting active and passive effects. First of all, as a passive effect, it will increase your strikecraft damage by plus 15. Now that by itself may not look like a lot, but there's not a lot of technologies in the game that do this, and strikecraft can be very, very useful. Although I'm pretty sure they're going to tweak this a little bit in the future, because as a passive effect, it's not really all that interesting. But from an origin point of view, could be cool. However, the real kicker here is the active effect, which unlocks a decision to consecrate a habitat and establish an Order's castle there. And that's just exactly the same thing as the original Order's castle that you have on your original habitat. If we currently go here, we will see that we have a Order's castle. It cannot be removed, it cannot be disabled. We have consecrated this world, and we will get Order domain areas on this particular place. But it also means that we have knights, and those knights in this particular case, because of the choices that I made, are generating all the science in the universe. Now you can see where this is going. This particular relic generates the opportunity to create insane amount of research. Absolutely insane amount of research, or Unity, because that's one of the other options that you can go for as well. Of course, during the event chain, you can also boost those planetary features that we talked about, but if you're going to go for the relic, then this is not interesting at all. If you want the Colossus, however, you may want to go after the planetary feature bonuses instead. So what will you do with your quest in the stars for the toxic god? What will your knights do in the end? What choice will they make? Well, first of all, if you decide to go for the toxic god, the knight's order will be ended, and you will lose your Order's domain over time, with all your knights scattering in the wind, and you will no longer get those insane bonuses that you have picked up. In this particular scenario, as I've mentioned before, it's probably a good idea to go for the planetary feature approach. If not, and you've decided to go for the relic, you can spread amongst the stars and build these orders everywhere. Habitats all over the place, with Order domains cranking out almost insane amounts of science, or Unity if you desire to do so. With science, of course, a tech rush is very, very viable, especially from 100 years onwards. You'll be able to do some very crazy things. And of course, if you go for the Unity approach, you can do planetary ascension pretty much constantly on all your worlds, making sure that you can crank out every single resources at infinitum. So these are the choices that you have. Of course, the journey itself is not without peril. There will be things in the dark that you will have to deal with. A trickster, so to speak, or a fae that you will need to trick and essentially steal some of their stuff. Yes, you can essentially go ahead and steal some of the stuff of the creatures you meet along the way. Just be careful. If you lose any of those knights, you will not get them back. And if those tricksters try to do something, well, you may run into some problems. So don't trust anybody on your journey. It's very important that you do so. There's also a couple of funny interactions that you can have within the game if you, for some reason, manage to get the Hell Portal event within your empire and decide to do something about it. Well, you can send a knight into the portal, and I think you can understand where this is going. In the end, Knights of the Toxic God is really fun, it's really interesting, it's also one of the longest storylines that has ever been added to Stellaris. For which ending are you going to go? What are your choices along the path? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime though, if you're not sure yet about Toxoids itself, feel free to go and check out the review right on the top of the screen right now. Feel free to click on that big old box, and I will see you in the review for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves, and as always, each other.